Welcome to the Steckline Report, everybody, and guess what? We're working on a pretty big deal that could help agricultural prices and maybe some other prices of products in this country. You've heard me talk a little bit about it in the past. It's the Pacific Trade Deal. President Obama's been working on it for a good long time. That's why he wants fast-track authority, so he can get that deal done, plus a few others. Looks like fast-track is a done deal, but is the Pacific Trade Deal? I'm going to talk about that and other items in a minute.
Every father would like to have their son farm with them and grandson and continue to farm. It's kind of a legacy, I guess. And then my dad was a farmer, and then of course then I am and my son. So actually Jackson, would be the fifth generation from my grandfather. It's going to be key for us to have American Ag Credit. It's a long-term partnership with him is what it is.
Well, negotiators from 12 Pacific nations are working on a regional free trade deal, and they're meeting in Hawaii later this month with the U.S. signaling that considerable progress has been made toward a final deal. Now, the President Obama used this particular deal as a real key in getting fast track approved for him. Now, what this means is that he can put this deal all together, but he can't get it done until Congress says yes. It's either an up or down vote with Congress. They can't do a bunch of hooky-dooky into it. So the president will work this deal out, lay it in front of them, and they either say yes or no, and we go on down the road. So what does it mean to us? It's pretty hard to say at this time, but any kind of a trade deal for me is a good deal. If we can get trade going out of our country instead of more coming in, I think we're all better off. Acting Deputy U.S. Trade Representative Cutler, he's been in Japan working on the agreement. Passage of this fast track ensures that Obama will get an expedited up or down vote on the trade deal if they get it done. So I think they're working a little harder now, because prior to the fast track deal, he didn't know if he had a chance anywhere of getting anything done with those folks in Washington. So it makes a lot of sense. Trade negotiations often result in delays. I don't know how long it's going to take. The ministers from these different countries may need to consult with heads of state before closing the final deal, but they expect it to be done yet this year. I think a deal is close, but end July seems optimistic. One of the people says that's negotiating, and that is for sure. I think it's going to take longer than that. One of the things that worries us is China. Their market is in terrible straits. China's stock drop has been terrible. It's now spread to the country's commodity markets as investors are selling because they want cash. This thing's going to affect us negatively because they're such big buyers of our farm products. How much is anybody's guess. Let's see what they get done to get their economic conditions straightened out. The Greece situation isn't helping us at all. I got to tell you, we've got some foreign problems that we can't do a thing about as citizens here in the Midwest, but they're going to affect the bottom line and our pocketbook, I'll guarantee you. The worst animal disease in history. That's what they're calling it, friends. The economic impact of the avian influenza outbreak in poultry, estimated at more than $3.3 billion. That's right. And it's prompting USDA to plan for a worst-case scenario in case it returns this fall. Heat has calmed it down. In fact, it's been almost a month since some of these states have been hit with a new influenza case. But as you know, it's affecting us. When you go to the Kansas State Fair, you're not going to see any chickens. You're not going to see any poultry. Banned. Should be. Not a bad deal at all. Yeah, it's bad for those people who want to see a chicken, but you better drive by a farm and not try to go to the county fair or anything else to see chickens, because they are not going to be there. That order came down just a couple of weeks ago. Terrible situation. We hope that the outbreak does not hit again this fall, but it has hit 21 states. 9 had commercial operations that were big. See you on the next Steckline Report.